Yeah, welcome everybody to the MC65 FM, not FM, sorry, show. I do so much. Yeah, welcome. Today with me is Elliot Margot. We have a two-part session, and today we are looking at building enterprise AI agents, and yeah, how they actually work. That's something different to bring only your own agents. And yeah, Elliot, it's a Microsoft MVP, Microsoft AI architect, working at Vitvo, VTVO, as the team lead Jumpstart Copilot agent. And yeah, today we're learning, I think, a lot of interesting stuff. So I leave the stage, so it will be yours, and put the screen on it. So Elliot, welcome, and let's go.
Thank you and hello. So, firstly, I want to show you a little bit of what I'm planning for today. So today you can see my screen perfectly, great. So it's building an agentic procurement solution using the new Copilot Studio, so the V2. So today, part one will only do the qualification and the package and dispatch. So you say what you want to buy, it creates documentation, and it sends it out to those potential suppliers. So for that, we need a few things to think about. So firstly, the reason why I think this is a good use case to actually talk about and stuff, and I want to start it with a number. In most organizations, the gap between the business unit that needs to purchase something and the RFP actually landing is like around 11 days, usually. Not because anyone is slow, but because a person has to read all the requests from the business, then the procurement team sends the emails, does the documentation, and then waits for replies. The goal is firstly to compact this part, make it automatic. So that's what the goal is today. So, and it is to show it in front of you, do it live, starting from nothing, not a slide of architecture, not recording, just live. And I'm going to open Copilot Studio, create a new solution, create the agent, 2 agents in total, 1 today. And as I said, it's the first of the 2 sessions. Today, we just build the qualifier agent and the one that takes it to the market. By the end of this call, we'll have a few things to show you. And in that case, let's start. So firstly, for those who don't know, in Power Automate, you always create a new solution. So let's call it RFP Agent Demo. There we go. I'm going to create it. Takes a little bit of time. There we go. Now, with this solution, I'm going to mark it as, where did it go? RFP Agent Demo. I'm going to make it a default solution. And I don't see the button anywhere. Love it. Let's go to Copilot Studio instead. For those that haven't played around with the new solution, I'll show you while I do it. Solution. And I just want to make it my default preferred solution. That way, everything I create gets into that little package and then can easily be exported or pushed to production via a pipeline. if it decides one day to be happy. Never mind, let's create a new RFP demo. Set as your preferred solution. Create, and there we go. So now whatever agent I create will always be a part of this. So before I start building and everything, I already created a Teams channel. I'm going to use my mailbox. Since the Teams channel is created, there's a SharePoint site. But I think it would be more fun that it creates its own channel every time. There we go. So I'm going to call it Qualifier plus Proposer. And before I do anything, I'm going to start adding a few tools. So firstly, I want to create a Teams channel. Create a team. That way, it always creates a nice little team, creates a new team in Microsoft, creates it for the specific RFP. So my inputs are going to be name of the team. So name of the team based on the RFP, very short description, optional description of the team, visibility, I'm going to make it private. So that I am the only one who can see it and other people in the company cannot see it. And I'm going to press done. So that's my first tool to create the team of the qualifier. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of knowledge to it. Skills, more like it. So in total, this agent needs 4 skills. So first to qualify the RFP request, then to create the procurement register. So firstly, qualify the RFP request, asks me questions, goes no, go, or is a go. You can, for example, do a budget for any purchases under 200 or under 2,000, under 50,000, so that if it's like 50,001, it refuses to continue and goes, please talk to your manager. Or if it's sensitive, requires an NDA, anything like that. Then also I want to create a procurement register. So that way I can create a list. It can add suppliers on its own. And update it as necessary. So whenever it finds a new supplier, it will just add it to the list. And for that, demo RFP. my little SharePoint. There we go. Of course, it's in French. Must it would not be funny. And I want to add a list. To list. There we go. Now I check back on my skill. So it has a title, name, supplier, etc. So the supplier has a title, a contact email, a category, and a country. So create a first list, supplier list. So title, contact email, category, and finally country. Of course, you can add more information like segments of purchases they do, or maybe don't do, and stuff like that. This I am going to remove. There we go. So with this, I'm going to create RFP as well. And of course, the solution will be then published on a public GitHub. If you want to download it, modify it, play around with it, you can. Name it RFP. So we got title already. We got request title. And we get the category of the purchase. For example, if it's an event, if it's maybe hardware like laptops, very important. Always the budget. Helps a lot when you then compare offers and one is suddenly out of budget or way under budget, maybe GPT 5.6 thinking then thinks a little bit, why is it so low? Maybe it's a little bit weird. Oopla. What was it? Status. Status is choice. So we want to have draft, qualified, qualified. Where did I go? In markets, evaluating, awarded, and canceled. Perfect. Then we wanted channel URL and team ID as well. Because every channel then gets its own little URL, which is very important. Now, the next skill. To compose the RFP documents. So I haven't put down any style or whatever, not yet. But I could add, for example, assets, information, special headers, special footers that it should have to use. And because I need to compose an RFP document, I want to add Word. There's Word. There we go. Enables me to create nice little documents. And of course, live demos always have something. So maybe instead I use the populate. So it's basically adding text to an existing template you have. So for example, if I take Word, I take my qualification for RFP, and then create procurement documents. So I have header, purpose, scope, quantity, specification, award criteria, submission instruction, and deadline. So just need to change my share. Fascinating, isn't it? So as I said, we got the header, we got the purpose, scope, the quantities, and everything else. So header, we're going to put it as a header. Each thing here, we're going to add a little information, scope and quantities. I was really hoping the word IQ MCP would work, because it's nice to actually create documents straight away. Always in demo mode. There we go. So to be able to map everything, we're going to go into plain text. I'm going to select the header, then go to properties and name it header. So there, the first field is mapped, then the purpose, next is scope and quantities, specifications. It's going to get a little bit too big. Specifications, named it 3, that's okay. Award criteria is next. Submission instructions. And the deadline. Now I just save the document. Could put it in my little downloads. It's fine. OneDrive Personal. It's great. Gonna keep it named header. And I'm going to go back to my little SharePoint, add a new folder, name it, well, placeholder for documentation. And I'm going to upload my little header. Of course, you can make the document a little bit more sexy as you got special headers, special footers. But in this case, it's just going to add plain text to it. And if I'll go to my inputs, and I am going to find my file. So the location of the SharePoint URL is sites demo RFP. The document library is called Documents, very creative. Documents. Now the file itself. For that, I am going to go into more details. At the bottom, I have the file path. As you can see, the file path, it goes shared documents, placeholder. So I'm going to go with placeholder. Get that. And I was wrong because it's not documents, it's shared documents. With the little slash at the end. And here as well, I need a little slash. There we go. I save it. Tool should have an output. Just in case, I'm still going to check for the word works. Guess not today. Sorry, 1 second. So I need to add some other capabilities because it needs to qualify the use case and then send the emails to the suppliers. So firstly, I think the system instructions are the most important thing. So let's prepare the system instructions that will go together. So Mr. Procurement Copilot, you run a request for proposal end-to-end with the human at 3 points, releasing into the market, sending the chase, and awarding. So you qualify inbound requests, take released RFPs to market, answer questions about the offers that come back, and record the award. Do not score and borrow suppliers, yada, yada. And that way it knows already that what it does. So if we take this thing, and one more skill that needs to be added is to issue the RFP. And of course, I messed up my skill. Line 2, column 14. That's nice. Try that again. I'm going to create it from blank. It's going to be a little bit easier. So when does he use it? He uses it when a human explicitly wants to qualify an RFP. And my little workflow, my skill. So you confirm everything, it ensures that it works, and it asks questions, it thinks critically, and enjoys. There we go. Too many spaces, always an issue. So with this, so the agent will first, you say, I want to do a purchase. It asks you questions. So for example, you say, I want to organize a retreat for my director and some colleagues to have a yoga retreat because they need to relax. So it's going to ask you how many people, maybe any dietary requirements, stuff like that. It's going to think a little bit critically. And it's going to help you really have a good understanding of what you want to purchase, what your budget is, really those type of information which are core to actually doing the whole process. After that, it's going to make sure that you have everything. Maybe you add another gate, saying maybe that ask if there is any sensitive data in this RFP. If there is any sensitive data, send them to cyber. Tell the user to contact the cyber center, or something like that. And you can add more rules, more guards, more gates. Don't make it too complicated. The goal is still to simplify the whole process, and something that cannot state enough is to have a standard way to do your RFPs, which is kind of important, especially when audit comes in. So to do all this, it also needs Word IQ for the email, being able to send emails, being able to do everything about that. Some errors with this. Give me a little moment. Really want to have Word IQ working. Yesterday, and always when the demo happens, the gods of demo are not kind.
Hey, I'm back on the stage.
Hello, thank you for the save.
Yeah. Wow, this was awesome. So, but I think you will share a screen, or?
Yeah, I'm just trying to fix the word IQ, the work IQ, but
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I think it will be working. That's the stress we have when we do a live stream.
always.
Yeah.
Let me reshare my screen. So I'm going to not take the work IQ, but I guess I will add.
Come back. So I leave you again. Bye.
So instead, I want to be able to draft an email message, send an email, and I want it to get the emails. That way I can draft a proposal, validate the proposal, send it, and whenever they respond in the future, I can get the emails. And that's essentially it. Just fine like that. So it already creates the team, but maybe I also wanted to be able to post messages in the teams. So post a message, post a card, post a message in the chat or channel. So my create team already gives me everything I need, and I can post a message. I also wanted to post as the agent, and I want to post in the specific RFP that the user is doing. Little note on that, actually. Quite good. Completely forgot about that, but we kind of need to add who the user is. So user email. Cross-reference with user email. That way it can start to do some things. So the populate will already give me everything I need in there. And I think the easiest way to do it now is to create a little workflow. So if you haven't been in there yet, it's quite fun. So the start, we need, for example, where's my connector? There we go. We want to populate the document. Where you go? Here it is. That way we actually get the output, and it can be saved directly without consuming too many tokens from the agents. Probably a little bit better if you want to not make it too expensive. SharePoint site, document libraries and documents, file is in placeholder, header, and I have my purpose. So again, I'm going to add the header. Next one was deadline. Well, doesn't really matter in the order. Deadline, purpose, scope and quantities. And of course, you can put anything you kind of want. This is just to show it a little bit. Specifications, word criteria, and submissions. Instruction. Like, for example, make sure to reply to the same email that I'm sending. Don't use another email from the company, or else it's not going to be treated, for example. So the populate gives me some stuff outside, which is nice. Let's see, for example, I have my Microsoft Word document. So I want to create a file in SharePoint. So it calls the flow, populates, creates the file. So it's going to create a file in demo RFP under shared documents, demo RFP. Or if you want, you can also create the teams, etc., and have it in there. For example, if you want to create the team, you can just create team. Create team. We add 2 inputs, the team name, the description, make it private. So now everybody has access to your RFP. So 2-word project name, little RFP description, and I take my two-word product name, description, little RFP description, and there we go. And to create a file, I need the file name, so I can either add as an input or maybe always have the same thing. File name, it's right here, and the content is all this. So it's going to be base 64 output, then it will be there. And if I want to go a little further, I can go create a link, create a link for a file, take that file that I just created, item ID, maybe put it in the right place. I want to have a view and edit, link scope to only people in my organization, and no expiration date. It says I need one more setup, right, documents. Now I get the link out of it. And if I maybe want to post to the channel, post a little message, I want to post it as Microsoft Copilot Studio agent. I need Flowbot, my bad. I want to post in a channel. So when I create my team, I get my team ID. But for the channel, it's not something I get straight away. So I need to get the list channel. So I want to list the channels in this thing. Again, I take the team ID. That way I have my channel ID. Perfect. And the message is, here is your RFP document, yada, yada. And I put in the sharing link from creating a sharing link. Of course, you can make it a little bit nicer. It accepts HTML. Also, you can format it and stuff. But for this part, I want to go fast, show you a little bit of the thing. something very simple that only goes one way. Could always go more ways and stuff as well. And I want to publish. That way I can call it from my flow, explain it when to use it. When to invoke the skills. If I go back to my little agent and I want to add the flow workflow, I don't think I named it. Maybe I did, it's not showing up yet. Definitely not this one. Yeah, there it is. Tools, workflows, and of course it's being sneaky and it doesn't want to be here. Let me refresh the page. And it's going to send me to the workflow place. I know it's not very secure, it's fine. Oh, that's my bad. I forgot to have the little response to agent. That makes sense. Go back here. When an agent calls the flow. No, all my inputs. I forgot about that part. Demo gods aren't too happy with me today. So just going to go in the code view, copy the data. That way it doesn't get deleted. And I am going to change it. Oh, I still have my instructions here. Perfect. Everything's still there. It's just not showing. But my inputs are still there. Perfect. And at the end, I add a little reply, respond to agent. There we go. With maybe we add the link. So the agent can give you the link to the message that we posted in the newly created channel. There we go. So first skill is to qualify the RFP request. Then it's going to compose the RFP documents, create the procurement register. So it's going to look everywhere. It's going to create the tables and everything. And for that, it needs a little bit of extra tools again. So for that, I need the list. Nice little SharePoint connector. The SharePoint connector can do everything about the posts. And for this, I don't need to create, so that way it can be a little cheaper when it runs. And essentially, it's just going to do all this. Hopefully, it works. Do we have a bad fear? Ah, perfect. Beautiful. So, update column in a SharePoint list, creates a new list, and so on. So I've created 2 lists, and I should create the other 2 lists. There we go. So can we still edit it? Compose RFP document, qualify RFP request, create procurement register. There we go. Probably going to be easier to create from blank again. Going to create the procurement register. Because I want to change 2 things in it. I want to change the RFP to remove the doc URL, because now that's in a Teams channel, so it will be a little bit cheaper. I don't care about the weight, the lead time, the SLA. Make it a little bit nicer, but I do want to have user's email. Column name is user email. Sorry. Sorry, 1 second. The issues of monologuing for 50 minutes. And if you have any questions, please don't let me monologue only by myself. Ask your questions in chat if you want to see something, if you have any questions about how you would do something for your company, about a process, an RFP process, or something like that. So since I've created 2 out of the 5 lists I want, I also wanted some lists exist, some do not. Create only the missing one, never touch an existing list. But you can update the list. There we go. Now I remove my create procurement register, the old one. That I've updated my skill. And if you have skill MDs, you can always download them, change them, replace them. Just replacing the skill. So I've created it from blank. I can edit it. If you've imported an existing skill, you can't. So I highly recommend that you don't import skills, you create them yourself. So shall we try a little purchase? So let's see if it actually writes it properly. Little preview mode. Let's go. So let's see. What should I purchase today? I need to purchase a cybersecurity seminar for my IT help desk. They have been getting caught in social engineering traps too often lately. No, that's embarrassing. I guess I'll have that for the second part of the demo available. Second call.
Awesome. This looks really, really great. And you build it in, wow, nearly under an hour. But I have a question to the Copilot Studio. Is there also possible to have small language models, or is it how it's a token? How you have all this big, very expensive stuff? Does it also have my own stuff or my own models, or and how it's I pay for
So
the tokens?
you could include a Foundry model. So for example, if I go to the, where's my little guy here? So just as a side note, a client wanted to have the Copilot Studio as an orchestrator to be able to see what agent he could invoke. So you can list your agents in Foundry. And then you can select the one you want to run, and you can invoke that agent. So you list all the agents that are available. You get their ID and stuff. And then you send your query, and then it responds, and the orchestrator, the Copilot Studio with the GitHub Copilot harness, kind of orchestrates everything. And that way you can invoke them. But you're not able to switch the LLM itself, and there are no SLMs, there are only LLMs. Maybe we'll add some later, but for now, the smallest thing you have is GPT-5 chat. I think GPT-5 chat has less parameters than Sonnet 4.6.
And how did you handle, I think there's a lot of stuff like governance, fine ops, and so on.
Yes, well, as you see, I didn't handle the FinOps. Forgot to attribute some credits to my tenant, to my demo environment. And it always takes a little bit of time to refresh. So unfortunately, even if I do it now, it won't be able to do it. But the entire process from end to end, I did a little bit of math on my end. Shouldn't be more than $20 US. It's a very big purchase order with a lot of details. And it's going to, I plan to use Fatal 5. So it's probably if you use GPT 5.5 chat, which is more than enough, do a little purchase, you're looking at about $5 to $10.
And you have a lot. You have now Gmail, Outlook, sorry, SharePoint, and so on, Teams. And for me, is it let me ask it the other way. We have structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. So, and I think the expensive one is unstructured data, and structured data, and the cheapest. How can we see what kind of data we work with, and what's your tip? It's more making, I don't know, I think SharePoint, it's really structured, but Teams, there
Yeah.
or look, you got mails, you got a Word file, you got a, I don't know, PT XYZ file. How can you handle it? Or yeah, I try to find the words, but I
I
think
haven't
it's
added any unstructured data per se right now. That's why I used the SharePoint lists, because lists are not our standard cost, not premium. Dataverse is premium, so it would cost more. But the SharePoint list is just great for just the basic stuff.
yeah. I
Um,
never messed it, but
yeah.
I never get it. But the people say SharePoint have these, I don't know, 5,000, 50,000 limit on it.
Yes.
So how
Yes.
can we handle this?
I think that's a quite good question, and I think that you shouldn't have that many RFPs in progress at the same time. And if you do 50,000 RFPs in 1 year, you're already a big company, and in that case, you should take the Dataverse. But since I'm doing a demo and I'm not targeting like Total Energy, Capgemini, or like a big company, I wanted to do SharePoint because it was free. Also, it's not going to cover. I don't really want to spend $200 to make a little demo. 20 is okay. Adding 10 is a no-go for me.
And did we need SharePoint? Can we use SharePoint free, or did we the enterprise version for use it?
You do need Work IQ is available, I think. I'm not so sure about that.
Okay.
But I think the normal version is fine as well. But you can also use other things, for example, Excel files and stuff like that. You can use Fabric if you want. If you have your Dynamics, you can use Dynamics. As long as it's a good storage place, you can. If you have any Databricks, also, you've got a lot of anything that's storage can be used.
Yeah. Awesome. It's really amazing how many connectors it have.
Yes,
And
that has a lot. They have added quite a few as well. And, they have some very fun ones as well.
and Copilot Studio, I never use it, so sorry for my question. But is it also possible to use MCP?
Absolutely. So for example, the SharePoint is an MCP. It's got multiple tools. If you want to add your own MCP, you can. You can make a custom MCP with an app and so on, and it would work as well. For example, if we add Microsoft Learn, there's also an MCP that's simpler. Could have sworn I just saw it pass. There we go. So this one has 3 tools to find documentation, find code sample, and once it found the document using the search, it fetches it, goes to get it. And that way, whenever you have a question about Microsoft or something, instead of perusing and going around Microsoft Learn for what used to take hours, we can get it in little minutes now.
And I will. Oh, let me look. What did we do in the next session?
So next session, I really wanted to actually do the qualifier plus the proposer thing. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to, but so next session for me is to show you the qualifier and the proposer. I will receive an email itself going, this is what you bought. Well, this is your FP. We are proposing that you sell us XYZ. Probably the cybersecurity event would be a good idea to follow on that. I will answer the RFP using another agent who is responsible for, if I retake my thing. So today I want to show you the qualify and the dispatch. And next time the bids come back, so the supplier answers, it analyzes everything in it. It sends you a message in Teams. it tells you a supplier has answered. Here's their thing, or maybe here are some questions that they have, or and so on. And then I want to be able to interrogate the offers. Go, can you compare the offers, please? Offers from XYZ for this RFP. And lastly, I want to be able to decide which supplier to pick and maybe organize a meeting with one of the suppliers who I like, but I want more information.
Yeah, and let me think about it. We spend, I don't know, it was Hansen's, I don't know how I speak to spell his name, the NVIDIA CEO, and he say every token it's money.
Yeah.
So what's your tip to see if we build a process that brings the money back?
Well, as I said, the RFP is kind of a good use case because it's something that everybody does, each company does, and it's something that takes time. Takes time from not just one person, but multiple people and sometimes entire teams I go to my procurement officer and go, we need to purchase 5 new laptops. And his first question is going to be, what laptops? And then we need to talk about the things. Maybe he might say, those are too expensive. We need to find cheaper ones. Maybe, do they really need to have 32 gigs of RAM? And so on. It's a back and forth discussion. It's them being able to draft the entire documentation. And that takes time. And the whole point of the RFP process, automating it, is really saying what you want to purchase, validating the RFP proposal, the document. It's sent to the suppliers, and you receive the responses. It analyzes everything for you, and that way you can easily pick which one you want, which one is the best.
That's awesome, and just you can web scrape it or use some APIs. I think a little bit. It's really cool. So the next step is also to write an automatic how it's called in English. We need 20 laptops and 10 servers, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah. And
I don't know if there are any questions from chat.
Actually, no. There are only people like it. They are a little bit shy to ask, I think, in the first round. Yeah, that's cool. But we have this agent world now. We have the AI world now. We have the agent world. What did you think? How autonomous can agent work? Is it, I don't know, like a human?
I want to say before Copilot Studio was kind of, if it fails, it fails. It's not going to try again. Now it will. It will just try again. It will continue to try until it works. So it's very, very possible, very easy as well. You can add some more triggers and everything. If I would take a workflow, so for example, and that was supposed to be a little bit of the second part, but since we got time, so if I take a new workflow, I'll attribute credits. And I have, so for example, when an email arrives, or when an email arrives in a shared mailbox, if I have a specific email maybe. There we go, blah, blah, blah. I put my DocuSign email, for example. When an email arrives there, it can invoke the agent. Come on, work with me today. So I can call, for example, my process audit scanner, and that way I tell him analyze the offer and give me a highly detailed summary. Very short prompt, very, very short. And then I can just give it, for example, up the subject, the body, and from who it is. That way it has a little bit of context. Maybe also see if there are attachments, give it the attachments as well. That way everything is sent to it, sent to the agent, and it can read it, understand it. Then again, I post a message to a chat. Maybe I say, to have a little bit nicer details, I want you to analyze it and respond in HTML with emojis. Context, of course. That way it will just post in my chat, for example. There we go. So that way it just posts everything in here, and then it's just the agent text response, and that's it. That way I'll receive everything. So you can very easily trigger everything. You can even add a step, for example. So if or else, maybe. You have a little agent which goes, oops. Maybe you have a new agent over here, which I'm just going to use a variable instead. Name it, and I'm going to name it agent that looks at the email and validates it's about an RFP. That way, I only get information about RFP, and if it's not, then it just finishes everything and goes.
That's amazing. I never looked into Copilot Studio, and it's more matey than I think. So I'm more
it's way more nicer than Power Automate for now.
Yeah, for me was more than like, okay, I use it's like the same like Power Apps or Power Automate, and so I use more the AI Foundry or from Azure. I don't know how they call it today, but it's only one click away from my. But that's cool. That's really it's
yeah. You can do a lot. And so far they're adding more and more things in it. You didn't have functions a while back. Now you have functions, so you're able to do some data operations, schedule things. Really add a lot of context, which is really nice.
And I think, I don't know, there's different architectures companies work with. One architecture is normally you build your own shit on your own tenant. How did you make it really enterprise ready?
That's a good question. Testing it, making sure that it works. And something that's enterprise ready just means that it can handle a large workload and function 99.99% of the time. Nothing works 100% of the time.
Let me specify it a little bit. So I think a lot of people build their own agents for their own work. So, but sometimes the product or the agents or what the build is so cool that they say, okay, we bring it to the corporate. How we can lift up that's really corporate?
You were talking about FinOps and governance at the start, and I think that's a good time to circle back to it. you need to be aware of your DLPs, your data loss protection rules, how much money you attribute to an agent, that if you hire a pen tester, like have rules. For example, a pen tester's objective should not be to consume all the credits in the tenant, and stuff like that. But governance and FinOps are so wide, so large. We could have an entire day talking about this.
And we got the first question today. We have someone who makes the first one, and it's the fantastic one. And he has a fantastic question, fantastic 128. What's the difference between Copilot Studio and Power Automate from your perspective?
The interface you see here is essentially another version of, it's called agent flows. Well, it used to be called agent flows, but essentially it's a Power Automate. If I go to the new classic workflow, you'll recognize, and I go to agent flows. Hey, no, there we go. And it's still the same kind of, let's use this, maybe not. You see, it's the same kind of similar things that happen here. So you can do a lot with Power Automate and Copilot Studio, but you find the same connectors, or you should find the same connectors in it. Maybe there's a little bit of variance. Maybe some of them haven't been migrated yet, but they should have the same capacity. The things that changes is Power Automate is made to be, robotic process automation. So you can include AI builder in it, so run a prompt. You can invoke agents, but it's not really thought to be something that is smart, that is agentic. On the other hand, the workflows for Copilot Studio, so agent flows, are really made to be agentic, where you call an agent, you have it respond, the agent continues, you have a process. It orchestrates multiple workflows, and it's really, imagine that you have multiple Power Automates that do your, for example, that reads your email, for example, reads your email, classifies your email, and so on. Or you could have one agent, one Copilot Studio agent, which has all those flows, and it just orchestrates everything. So when an email arrives from my chief technology officer, what's the rule? Does it need to respond? Does it not need to respond? And it bifurcates the flows and is able to think intelligently about what to do, how to act. While Power Automate, you can, but it gets very difficult adding all those conditions. You're limited at a level of 9 conditions and so on. So it gets difficult really quickly.
Oh, the fantastic one have 28 has another question. Is it possible to convert my Power Automate flows to Copilot Studio?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I would say no now, because it's just something that came out. But long term, I think that is something that the product team has on the roadmap. Currently, you can't. The only way you can copy it is to copy it by hand.
Yeah, I think what's possible, I don't know if I'm really sure, but you can save the whole project over the Visual Studio, and then you can. But I don't know if you can upload it, if it's work. But I think it should be possible. But yeah, but it's a good question for the next session. So.
Yeah, the thing got me thinking a little bit. Microsoft released Power Platform Skills. So it's a plugin that you can use, which is called Flow Agent MCP.
Mm-hmm.
And it allows you to set up flows, create flows, debug flows, diagnose, and so on. And I'm pretty sure you could manage to migrate with that MCP. but it's not something you can do in one click, like from Agent Builder to Copilot Studio and upgrade your agent. Not yet, at least.
Oh, and we got the next question. This was a hard spelling name. Krisik 2805. Today presentation use modern Copilot experience. Can you tell something when to use classic Copilot Studio agents and when to use modern one?
Absolutely. And I actually prepared something about that.
Yay!
So you could either have everything in 2 agents with multiple skills, or you could have 1 agent that does each part. So you can have 5 agents or 2 agents. If you want to have multiple agents and use the classic, where's my classic gone? There we go. Actually, I'm going to go with, where's my little guy? There we go. My demo buddy is here. That way I can kind of show the difference. So the old designer is really used for when you want to have something robust, simple workflow that only goes one way. The Copilot Studio version 2, the new version, is something that uses a lot more thinking power. So it's something where you can have multiple workflows, multiple conditions, everything on agent. If I were to build this agentic procurement solution on Copilot Studio V1, I would need 5 agents because I need one to qualify, one to make sure that it sends everything, one to analyze the bids, one to interrogate, one to that you can chat with, and one to decide, send everything, and be able to organize everything. In the V2, I can have 2 agents only, which for me is easier to do the demo because I couldn't create 5 agents in 4 hours. It's impossible. But creating 2 agents in 2 hours, that's okay.
It's possible, but yay, it was really good. You have 2 in 1 hour, so okay.
Yeah, compacted a little bit. Again, the new Copilot Studio doesn't have anything like adaptive cards, topics, or anything, but it's all run through skills. So that means it's kind of the new standard for topics, right? A skill is a certain workflow or where it follows steps and it does everything, be it chatting with you or doing updating a SharePoint list by itself because it knows what to do and you don't have to tell it what to do. But here you do with the old one. And not only do you have to tell it what to do, sometimes it fails and it just refuses to continue. And I think that's the beauty of it as well, because you need to define everything very closely, and it just does that one track. And again, the other one can be multi-track. You can imagine that it's like, I'm going to go with the fridge example again. So each agent is one level of your fridge. Each level of your fridge is specialized in holding vegetables, meats, perishable goods, and so on. While the Copilot Studio V2 is every single thing at once in your fridge, and it will find whatever you're looking for. If you're looking for carrots, it will find them. If you're looking for carrots which have already been found, went through the graded, it will do it for you as long as it has the skills to do it. And if you ask your Copilot Studio V1 to be able to do that, it will stop. It's not able to, unless you create a topic for it, and then it's still limited. But the V2 can do all that and more.
Oh, cool. We got the next question from Simon. Hello, Simon. Simon, Glowik, I don't know, I spell it right in English. How is Copilot Studio moving from citizen development to developer tool again, like Power Automate?
I don't think it's moving too much from citizen development. There is still the option that you can create agents as a citizen and so on. It really depends how the governance of your tenant is made. It just came out, so most tenants blocked it, unable to create the new GitHub Copilot harness and so on. The goal of the Power Platform is to be citizen development. That way you create personal environments. You have the people who work are like, oh, I want to have this, I will build it. And that way they don't have to go to the IT team always and say, we would like to build this. And that way, oh yeah, by the way, we need 8 hours of workshop for us to understand everything. You would have already built it in those 8 hours.
Awesome. And the fantastic one, you have separated in two parts his question. Part one, it's the fantastic one, 28. I like to use agents for our IT support desk to generate response tickets. Second part, to do this, I build a Power Automate flow that use an agent as action. Will this process be better suited for Copilot Studio?
So your flow probably just analyzes the query and creates the tickets. If you use a Copilot Studio, the biggest advantage is that maybe there won't be a ticket. Maybe the agent will be able to solve the issue of the user. For example, I'm sure you know, problem between chair and keyboard. Maybe you switch your keyboard language, and when you press Z, you get a Y, or stuff like that. But it depends how you want to have it, how you want to make it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's best suited, but it might mean a reduction in ticket creations. But yeah, you can use ServiceNow, you can use GLPI, you can use Easy Vista. There are a bunch of solutions that exist. And all the connections you have in Power Automate, you will probably find them here. So you've got yes.
That's awesome. What did you think when we got on YouTube 10 likes for the topic on Fantastic One's comment? Should we do build this live?
IT help desk, we can. We got to see with what. ServiceNow, we can request a developer instance to build it. I've already done that. Easy Vista, unfortunately, you can't. So it's a no-go. I'm not about to buy an Easy Vista solution just to do a demo. It's going to be way too expensive. But if somebody has one that they want to build as well, we could basically co-live build this with somebody who's interested as well.
Yeah,
maybe work it out with, forgot your name, buddy, who was asking the questions. Fantastic, sorry.
Fantastic one.
Maybe see what you want to do with it. Maybe tailor it a little bit to your use case, which would kind of be more interesting than just me doing my thing. But yes, absolutely possible.
Yeah, then fantastic one. Let's look if we get some likes and questions on your question, and then we do it in a live session. I really like this idea. Okay. Next name was the spelling.
Yes, everything you do in the new Copilot consumes credits, and as you can see, I assigned. I got 100 credits, and while adding things, test, saving, publishing, it consumed everything. So it was $1 setup for now. So the qualification was.
Okay. So what is the difference between tokens and credits?
It's always the difficult one. Everybody kind of has their own thing. Credits are a pack of tokens being printed. It doesn't necessarily mean it's only tokens. You consume credits when you call tools, when you add items, when you create workflows, but it doesn't necessarily consume tokens. And it's very, very big as a topic. And it's still something that's confusing a little bit, especially with the new Copilot Studio harness. Being able to measure everything, being able to use the GitHub Copilot harness, and being exact on your billing, what it's going to cost you. But 1 credit equals 1 cent in US dollar.
Yeah, and the fantastic one again. I built a solution what use the request. So yeah, what I have done, that's I have a client now. He's really sad with me. He fired me, and they say, okay, we need more sales. So, and I look, where's the bottleneck? And the account manager doing a lot of requested, and yeah, the main job is to sell the product. And I have built a product, and bring it all to the LMMs, so it's answered the questions and build up the FAQ, and they were so unhappy. So they say, oh, we have less visitor on the website, and so on. And yeah, this was a really interesting aspect from my side. So they don't want to lose users on the website that looks okay. This is the question. Here I found the answer, or I don't find it. And yeah, so about Elliot, what's your perspective?
RAG is always a little bit tricky. It's really an expertise in its own, being able to understand how it works, being able to make sure that the documents are clean. There are limitations to work IQ RAG, but if you go with Azure AI Search, you're able to vectorize, embed, and chunk whatever you want. And if you're doing a lot of documentation, for example, one of my clients had 200 gigabytes of documentations in PDFs. Absolutely, Azure AI Search is probably the best thing to use in that case. But it's rough. You really need to, it's case to case. You can't really go and say, this is for everything. It really depends on how your documents are structured, what's in it. Is it images, videos, PowerPoints, just text? Do those documents have headers? Do they have keywords? Do they have descriptions? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a cool question, but you answered first. Simon, again, what do you feel like is the best way to have PDF as an output? We struggle with creation of style documents. We wanted to go to root just a citizen developer waiting to have a CI-based PDF sheet.
Absolutely. It's a very good question. And if you're using Copilot Studio, you got 2 main ways to do it. So firstly, you create your templates. Where did my pop go? You create your document templates, and you add plain text. If you want plain text, that's okay. That's perfect. If you want it a little bit more customized, where you have tables and everything, where it's dynamic, it can have like 3 entries, 4 entries, 10 entries. You need to go with either WordIQ or probably a Python Azure function. If you go to WordIQ, and for that I'm going to use the old one because I know it works here 100%. It was Word. WordIQ MCP documentation. So you take in, well, the document creates items in HTML. So that means if you have a skill that has everything listed, you're able to make a perfect document. But that's very, very hard to do. So you need a mix of system instructions, 3-4 skills probably about how to do the header, how to do the content, the body, how to maybe add images in it. It depends really what you want to do. But I think the word IQ MCP is good enough if you have skills. I've been able to do a few good documents as well with it. And I highly recommend you try it out. I see you already did with the skill and scripts that define the style beforehand. I'm not sure if you used Word, sorry.
Yeah.
I recommend it. And if you are using maybe Claude or VS Code, try to do an Azure function. You'll get a good result as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's also be an interesting thing we can do on a live session. I had the other side of problem. I have indexed all the Epstein files, the 3.5 million files on Azure Foundry, and you have all these problems like, okay, all the black label stuff, and this was really bad. It's not overwriting the topic, it's more only marked. You can a lot of the stuff you can make for you can, but it's generated so much metadata scam shit. It was so hard. That's the log files, and this metadata was bigger than the files. It was so kind of shit. But yeah. And Simon again, he has also something he would add to it. So Simon asked, I did it with skill and script that defines the style beforehand, and it's being executed on call. It sounds like a plan for me.
I'm really wondering where you had the issue with the skill here, because if you have a good skill that defines everything, you should easily be able to do it. If you look, I don't know how you create the skill, but best way is to take like a document you have, like very, very complete document, give it to Claude or VS Code and say, from this document, I want you to create a skill. And it will create a skill. Maybe you create multiple skills. Maybe you have one skill that tells you what skill to use, depending on what table, what content you're building, images, and so on, where to get the images. Maybe you have them in an Azure storage blob, something. Maybe you've got an API call to generate images that go specifically in. But so far, I've been able to. I really wanted to show you how to generate the documents. Also, but unfortunately, Word IQ is not functioning exactly as I would have. But liked, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's loading. It's loading. That's live.
I think I actually had one that generated a. Maybe it's not here. Nope. No, it's not here, unfortunately. I was looking for my little agent that actually created the documents with Word IQ, but.
Oh, that's an interesting added on. Simon say, I had no issue with the skill myself, but I'm consultant myself. The client tried it himself as a newbie. So that's what I mean by it moving away from an experienced employee to an AI super user.
Yeah, that's a very good distinction, and I think AI literacy is something that is a little bit undervalued still. If you want to have AI users, you need to teach them how to use it. Teach them when do you use Cowork to maybe create skills, when do you use Copilot, when do you Yeah, exactly. Deactivating Claude models, but yeah, activating co-work with GPT maybe, so that it's able to analyze the document, create the skill itself, teaching them how to prompt, so a bit of engineering behind how it works, that AI is not magic. It's an intern which you hire and train up until it becomes an employee, a director, and so on. It costs money to run. Not everything is free. It doesn't replace you. It helps you work, but it's very easy for you to kind of think, oh yeah, I know how to use it. I asked something, it gave me the answer. I guess that's what you kind of mean with by newbie. But being able to understand everything, being able to know what kind of call you need to make, being able to use the right connector, being able to use the right model for the right use case. Maybe you don't select Fable 5 for everything or Claude Opus. Maybe Sonnet is enough. Maybe GPT 4.1 is enough. And that way your costs reduce a lot more.
Yeah, so I think that's what Elliot was cool. And Tuesday next week we have the next session with you. We do the second part. I think all the people on the channels where you come from, you find it there. YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. I don't know if X is really an option to see it. But yeah, I hope I see all the guys again, and I hope we have also so much cool questions. So I'm really happy. I love it when people ask questions. And yeah, Elliot will become I hope you become the next host here, and we do more of these shows. We also invite guests. We do this demos, and I think, yeah, I hope all enjoy it. So if you enjoy it, leave a comment, leave a like, share some love, share with your guys, and yeah, cool. And yeah, I will say thank you, Elliot. I think this was a great session, and we have so many questions. It's cool. I really love it. And yeah, we see you latest next week on Tuesday.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Thank you all for joining.
Yeah, that's was really amazing. I think, all the people. I hope all the people will love it. I give the people a short outro and say on LinkedIn you can connect with me if you like also do a show or have questions also with Elliot, especially to this topic or what we do next. And yeah, I hope I see you all soon. So bye.
Bye, everybody.
Your next customers don't need more ads. They need trusted signals. The M365 show is where the Microsoft ecosystem shows up. Practical, community-driven sessions with real makers, admins, architects, and decision makers. When you sponsor, you don't interrupt people. You show up inside the conversation, where trust and context already exist. Sponsorship means brand visibility, a clear call to action, and content that keeps working through distribution and AI discoverability. Option 1, $99 a sponsor video up to 2 minutes placed in an existing episode. Option 2, $699 one moderated show with 1 or 2 guests plus premium PR and AI indexing. And the power play, $2,000 the ultimate global distribution package. You're a sponsor in every show for 2 years, including 1 moderated show with 1 or 2 guests, plus premium PR and AI indexing. Because when Microsoft teams evaluate tools, they don't search for ads. They remember the brands that taught them something and showed up consistently. If you want visibility with real Microsoft practitioners and content that keeps working, sponsor the M365 show. Visit m365.show and let's build your next pipeline moment.